Hi, thanks for joining me for this virtual owl pellet dissection. So the things we're going to need today are a covered work surface, something that is disposable or recyclable when you're done. This is a pretty messy project, so newspaper, newsprint, or paper plate even. You're going to want your bone ID chart. You're going to want your owl pellet. And then I like to use toothpicks or tweezers or something that's pretty easy to pull apart what is a fairly delicate piece of material. So before we get started today, I just want to explain what we're going to be doing. So you should have an owl pellet, and that is regurgitated, non-digestible material, feathers, fur, bones. It could be pieces of insects, depends on what the owl has eaten. And so the owl has an organ called a gizzard, and all this non-digestible material, after the owl has eaten and digested, this material gets compressed into this little pellet. And an adult owl will regurgitate 1 or 2 pellets a day, depending on how much they've eaten. So this is not necessarily a single meal. This could be a couple of different meals. They have been sanitized through heat, so you can choose to wear gloves if you're more comfortable. You do not have to. You should wash your hands before and after. All right, so we're going to get started. You're going to start by just opening up your pellet and looking at what you see, and it's usually a dark gray mass. Sometimes you can see bones or feathers sticking out on the outside of it. And then you just want to gently pull it apart with your fingers. So it didn't take much force. And I'm going to lay these pieces down on my covered work surface. And I like to break it with my fingers just really gently wherever it pulls apart into 5 or 6 big pieces, because you're going to notice almost instantly that there is a lot of soft, feathery, furry material, and just getting some of that out of our way. Okay, and so I'm kind of off to the side here, but I want to show you, I'm just going to keep pulling away material now. So this is where it starts to get interesting, because I have found a skull. There are some teeth there, and because those teeth are orangey yellow, I know that this is going to be a rodent. So now, using the tools that you have, your fingers, your toothpicks, your tweezers, I'm going to have you just keep working at things, and I start making piles. But if you want to be even more organized, you can use your bone chart. And the bone chart has 4 categories of animals, and it has nice pictures of the types of things you're going to be finding. So let's see if I can get my skull loose here. I like to put all the loose, soft, feathery, furry parts out of my way. All right, so here I have a piece of a lower jaw. It has an orange tooth sticking up. And so I'm gonna find that, and it looks very much like a rodent skull with that sharply upturned lower tooth. And here's probably the other half of that one. And then I've got another piece here. So it looks like at least 2 rodents were consumed by my owl, because I'm finding I've got at least 2 parts of 2 skulls here. And so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep working through our pellet. At the end of this, you're going to have a pile of feathers and fur that you can just dispose of, wrap it up in your paper plate or your material that you've laid down ahead of time. And what I like to do is, if I want to keep my bones, because they're tiny, I can glue them to my chart, or I can use a piece of poster board or something that's heavier material, like a cardboard cereal box, to back that, and then glue them down, or just keep them in an envelope or plastic bag if you want to store them or save them. All right, I hope you enjoyed dissecting this owl pellet, and I do encourage you to go outside and listen for owls in the fall and winter months, because here on Grosse Ile and in southeastern Michigan, we've got 3 species that are fairly common. Eastern screech owl is our smallest, great horned owl is our largest, and then in between there we have the barred owl. All right, thanks for joining us.